All right, what's up, fantasy book fans? This is Steven, Jake, and Josh with our usual month in review episode. We are less two members of Fantology this time, unfortunately. Ben and Ryan both had other commitments, apparently. But the Fantology 3, the Fantology 3
Steven's not
is
salty
here.
at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. So we are going to wrap up what happened with Fantology in the month of May. We have a few bits of news, and then we're going to get into our next competition, which is going to be Top 3 Fathers. Last month in May, for Mother's Day, we did Top 3 Moms. Now we're doing Top 3 Dads for June. And then we have some specific bits of fantasy news, which there were actually quite a few in May. So a lot coming at you here.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay, so last month we unveiled a new bit that we do in these episodes where we do a bad review that Fantology has received. Of course, we don't receive many of these; they're majority positive. I'm being serious. Like we get a
Thank you guys.
Thanks for everyone who listens and tells us we're doing a good job. I mean, I don't know if you're being honest or not, but the nice words are appreciated. But every now and then we get some internet trolls, and I guess we just want to humor them. And so last month we had a bad review that was specific to Ryan. And this month we have a bad review that is devastatingly specific to Josh.
No names were mentioned in the Ryan bad review.
But I'm taking this as a badge of honor because he knows he paid enough attention to it as it was me.
Yeah.
Anyway, the review was "F you, Josh."
And so it was you, Josh.
F you, Josh. For my take on Shadow of the Gods, I gave it not a glowing review, what I felt was an honest review, and he didn't like the review that I gave it.
No, he didn't.
What I thought was interesting is, again, I haven't listened to this episode because I haven't read the book, but Steven, weren't you and Josh on like the same page with Shadow of the Gods?
Josh was a little more
critical.
Were you? I mean, I wasn't raving about it either, but I think Josh, you were like a 6.5 out of 10. Was that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Six or 6.5.
Yeah.
What were you, Steven?
I was maybe like a 7.5. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay. I just remember hearing that you guys both didn't think it lived up to the hype. So I was wondering why Josh got singled out.
I just ranted and raved. There's an expression called, what was it? Thought cage. Thought cage that was used a ton throughout the book, which has since also now gotten more, people have picked up on it.
We were talking on Discord. More people have read the book and are all kind of critical about thought cage. Which he uses to just describe like mind.
Thinking, mind. Yeah. Like instead of in my mind, or I thought this, it was my thought cage, whatever.
That did he come up with that, or is that?
I don't. It might be something
he pulled from another culture or something.
Maybe
that sounds cool. I like it.
No, it's cool, but when it's used like way too often.
Anyway,
Anyway, yeah. So
thanks,
Jake. There are just a few things like that I kind of raved about. Maybe.
I mean, I don't think it was too much of a rant. There was maybe like one moment where we really got going, but other than that, it was a pretty fair review. I mean, of our opinion, at least. Other people had different opinions. That's fine. That was ours, which is fine for most people, but not this guy.
Go check out our review of Shadow of the Gods. It is a good book. Go check out our review, our non-spoiler section at the beginning, and Steven's booktube video about it, and order the book because I think you'll like it.
I didn't get an FU Steven, and I did a booktube review.
So go watch the booktube video, apparently.
I actually haven't got any hate comments yet for my booktube videos, which is surprising because, I mean, not everyone's going to agree with my takes, and I'm kind of putting myself out there on my own doing the booktube. So I guess everyone just loves them. I'm too much of a personality.
Just, you don't need the rest of us, Steven. You can just be the Fantology one.
Okay, so past the bad review, we'll see what happens in the month of June. Maybe we'll have a more entertaining bad review for you next month. But we are slightly changing our schedule, our release schedule. We're going to go to weekly +1 episodes. And what I mean is like one episode a week for the month. And then we're going to have a +1. And the +1 is going to go out to patrons, of course. And then it's also going to go out. So the podcast landscape is changing a little bit. And both Apple and Spotify, and I'm assuming this will just kind of spread throughout all the other podcast hosters, all of these groups are now doing an option for paid episodes. So you can, you can set whatever price you want. We'll just do ours pretty cheap since I don't think we're worth a ton of money for our +1 episodes. But we are going to do that and just kind of see what happens. If it's super unpopular and no one's listening, well, we'll just go back to whatever. But we're going to change it up, make it a little more sustainable into the future. We really pumped out a lot of content in our first year. And then I think had a bit of a reality check. And like, if we want to do this long term, we need to maybe dial back a little bit, make it more of a hobby. And this is going to be the schedule going forward.
Well, and also we had done reviews for a lot of the books that we've already read. So we're having to like read a lot more books, which we always enjoy doing, but it's easy to pop down and record a review for a book you've already read. But if you're having to read the book and then do the recording, it just adds a lot.
Yeah.
Some of us are just starting to learn what it actually means to try to commit to reading these books. I remember thinking I would have book 5 of Malazan done by now, and I am still on book 2. So just our schedules a little bit.
Yeah, reading actually takes a while. Once you become an adult, you realize that somehow when I was a kid, it was like no problem, just pump out the books. But
drink those Percy Jackson books, just gobble them right up, Stephen.
What were they? They were at tier 7 on the iceberg video.
Percy Jackson? No, Percy Jackson would have been higher up on the iceberg because
Pendragon.
There's an adaptation. Yeah, Pendragon made its way onto the iceberg.
That was the lower tier one.
All right, so on our Discord, which we mentioned, if you want to talk with us, links to be invited to the Discord are in the episode description. On our Discord, we're doing a book club right now. We're reading The Priory of the Orange Tree, which I'm reading. I don't think you guys have got into it, but I'm reading it with there's at least 5 or 6 of us that are reading together. We do one chapter, and the chapters are about 100-ish pages each. We do one chapter a week, and then we have a voice chat about it at the end of the week. And we've done this for a few weeks now, and it's gone really well, and there's been some good discussion. So I think that'll be something we see continue on Discord. We're getting closer to the end of Priory, so we'll have to do, we'll decide on another book. I think we'll do a shorter book this time since Priory is pretty long and people are wanting shorter books. But let us know if you want to be on a book club, join Discord, and let us know what book you want to read together. It's fun to kind of read something together and chat about it.
You know what book I kind of want to do? This is just kind of spoiling it, but I've wanted to read like Jade City for a long time.
Oh, Fonda Lee.
Yeah, I don't think any of us have read that, have we?
I have not.
Yeah, so maybe Ryan has, but that might be fun to get on it because I've heard a lot of glowing praise for that one.
I saw Daniel Green. I think he interviewed her, or at least did maybe he didn't, but he at least did a BookTube video, which has like always been recommended to me for some reason. So I know it's popular.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, we still do some read along channels as well for books people are reading, but that's generally if one or two people haven't read the series and they're starting it. But the book club is really fun because we all get together and read it together as opposed to watching someone else go through that journey.
And the read along channels are technically patron benefits. So if you want to have your own private read along channel on Discord, you should be a patron. So other books. So we're continuing to try to do like one arc a month. Last month, Josh and Ben and I did The Black Tongue Thief by Christopher Buehlman. And we had fun with that one. I think we all agreed that it was a pretty solid book. I went on record and said it was the best book published in 2021, at least for science fiction fantasy. And now we are reading The 7 Deaths of an Empire. and we're just kind of getting started with it, really. But it's coming out by the end of the month, so we'll have a review of that one out soon.
Yeah, those are, I've been really impressed with these smaller books that we've been reviewing. I know that they are kind of getting some hype, but Black Tongue Thief was a lot of fun, and I haven't gotten too far into Seven Deaths yet. I'm at about 10%, and I'm also reading The Goblin Emperor, which is a really unique book as well. I have yet to formalize my takes on that, but anyway, those are what I'm reading, along with Memories of Ice.
Goblin is also an arc, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll have to get to that one as well. I think we have an audio arc for that one. Sometimes they're audio, sometimes they are text. Text obviously takes a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe not obviously. For us, it tends to. Okay, so past that, I'm working on, actually Jake and I together are working on making another iceberg video. We put out a video for the iceberg of science fiction and fantasy books, and I just recorded my thoughts on the iceberg of the Cosmere, which I'm officially calling the Cosberg. So
Cosberg.
The Cosberg. The Cosberg will be out.
Question, is this your first time saying this to another person?
To another person, yes. I said it to my computer.
Yeah, I like it. It sounded like you're like kind of
testing it out.
You left a pause back there to try and gauge our reactions.
No, it's good. It. And can you guess? So the opening line, teaser for the video. The opening line is, "You've heard of the Sanderlanche. Now here's the Cosberg."
I like it. I like it, Steven.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Man, that's good.
Yeah, so the idea there is there's 8 tiers to this iceberg meme that goes around the internet, from like most entry level down to really depths of the ocean. And so top of the Cosberg is like reading Mistborn and reading Stormlight Archive. And the bottom is like
There's a new entrance that you need to put at the top of this Cosberg, Steven.
Playing Fortnite.
Playing Fortnite. Dude, I don't play Fortnite at all, but I definitely got that Kelsier skin.
So did you just buy it?
Yeah.
We're kind of skipping ahead, but
yeah. So my brother-in-law, who I was playing Fortnite with, I'm visiting family, and he plays, and so he had enough V-Bucks, so I just like Venmo'd him the equivalent in cash of like V-Bucks, and he gifted it to me because you had to like, Fortnite does it so that you have to buy it, like it costs 1,600 V-Bucks, but they only sell like 1,000 packs and like 4,000 packs or something. So like you have to spend like way more money. So anyway, he helped me out with that because I didn't want to spend $20 on it. But anyway, so it's pretty sweet.
I've never played Fortnite before. Is there any advantages to getting the Kelsier skin? You just look different.
You just look different.
Okay.
You look awesome.
You look awesome. Yeah. It came out to be like $9, so it's not like a huge investment, but it's definitely worth it. You're playing the game for a few hours. It's fun to make I've never bought anything in Fortnite before, so I don't know why I'm really defending the practice, but it was cool running around as Kelsier. And he has like, for his pickaxe, he has like these glass knives,
glass daggers.
Nice.
Glass daggers. Anyway, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. A member of our Discord, NC Towns, showed us a graphic that the search hits for Kelsier went up 2,000% after the announcement of that on Fortnite. I think Mistborn in general went up like 300%. So it's interesting. I mean, I'm looking forward to see how that affects the reception of Mistborn going forward. I don't know how many people who play Fortnite like to read as well, but
there's probably some overlap.
It's a great marketing move. Sanderson's really good at marketing himself.
Yeah. I mean, this was just via, because he was friends with the director of Fortnite. Well,
but this is all like Sanderson being. This is probably Sanderson being humble. I mean, I do believe his story, but I mean, like it probably took some negotiations and stuff to get that in there.
Yeah, I watched his YouTube update today, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm really good friends with the the guy who started Fortnite because they worked on the Infinity Blade. Yeah. Books together." It's like, oh yeah, he's a big fan of Mistborn. He thought it'd be fun, so we did it. So, yeah, you're probably right, Josh. Like, I'm sure there was a little more to it than that.
Yeah, they were probably like, I mean, they had to get a guarantee return, right? Or however much it costs to design that mean, I don't know. I feel like it costs like next to nothing to make that design compared to how many people buy it. But
yeah, because it's just a cool design either way, even if you didn't know what
Yeah.
this one was. Yeah.
mhm.
Okay, we are
Cool.
going to talk about some other fantasy, like general fantasy news things. We jumped ahead a little bit with that one, but that was an
Sorry.
exciting one. Okay, last thing for Phantology. We played the Red Rising game together. Ryan has it. And if you don't know, there's a board game now for Red Rising. It's made by Stonemaier Games, who make some really good, high-quality board games. I think it's like some of the top games out there in Board Game Geek are made by Stonemaier. So they made a Red Rising game. We played it. It was fun. We all lost to Dan, who is on the Harry Potter and our skit video. So you probably recognize him from there. But yeah, that was a fun game. It was fun to see the artwork of all the characters and try to remember. It's been a while for me since I've read Red Rising, so I was like, which guy is this? But no, it was a fun game. So check that one out if you're a fan of the series.
Yeah.
I haven't read the series in like 5 or 6 years, but the game was good enough in itself that afterwards I was like, man, like regretting some strategies that I didn't use in the game and really wanting to play again. But I don't know who I'd play with up here. So get the game.
Yeah, it was good. Anthony S. was that his name? Came in and saved the
Alex
day.
S.
Alex S. So funny story.
Yeah.
There's a rule saying like take your like a certain card allowed somebody to take a turn, and it was unclear whether it meant that it would get an additional turn or just like take his turn out of order. Because it said take your turn out of order. It says take your turn out of order. So Jake and I were under the impression that would mean that you skipped to being like the next turn taken, and then
you wait.
Then you would wait. And then Steven was under the impression that it would just, you would get a turn in addition to your turn. And so Steven looks it up on this forum and a guy answers and Jake's like, who's this Alex S?
Because Steven just like, oh, this guy says it is and it is. And we're like, we're just trusting this random guy on a forum who has 4 upvotes. I was like, who's this Alex S? And then we look on the box, it says developed by Alex Schneider or something. So
it was Steven felt pretty vindicated in that moment.
So if you have any questions,
yeah, I was right.
If you have any questions about the game and you find someone named Alex S who's giving answers, you can believe them.
Yeah.
Trusted source.
Okay. So we're done with news for Phantology. So last month,
guys, that's how exciting our life is. Just that a board game roll was like the most exciting part of my week last week.
Yeah, well, it was a funny story. Okay, so last month we did top 3 moms in science fiction and fantasy. Winning entry was Molly Weasley, Catelyn Stark, and Egwene Alvear. So kind of riding that wheel of time, once again, Twitter of time, tied to victory. You tend to win because Wheel of Time fans are crazy on Twitter. Anyway, this month we're doing top 3 dads. So we only have 3 of us, so this is going to go a little bit faster, and we'll have to do a lot more in honorable mentions. But do you guys have your top 3 fathers?
Yeah.
I'm still debating about my third. So you guys, I'll go last maybe.
Okay. Jake,
okay, I'll go. Yeah, I'm still trying to solidify them, but I'm gonna go Leto Atreides for number 3. He's not in the book a ton, but he's a good head of household in the sense that he sees that there's a threat to his family, and he tries to prepare his family as much as possible for that.
Is this just a reaction to when I came in with Lady Jessica at the end of last month's episode and you were upset because you forgot about her?
I have been, I mean, our mothers, our entries for the mothers have influenced my choices for fathers, yes. But my next choice is, what's his name? Sol Weintraub from the Hyperion series. His whole story arc is dedicated to him being a father to his daughter and their journey together. My number 1 pick is Lord Denethor, Steward of Gondor.
Nice.
For top father?
I'm just kidding. No, it's gonna be be Ned.
For worst father.
Pulling from the same shared acting universe, it's gonna be Ned Stark from Game of Thrones. That's father.
Boromir.
Yeah. I just
Okay.
thought that Denethor would be a good pick. A
Yeah,
very
there's a lot of
father in fantasy.
there's a lot of really bad fathers. Maybe we should do worse
Yeah.
fathers next month.
Yeah.
All right, I have 3. Josh, you still want to go last?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Beric from the Fitz and the Fool books, the Robin Hobb books. Farseer trilogy is the first entry. There's a lot of books here, and it's a little bit of a spoiler to like really talk about some of the reasons why I'm going with Beric. But yeah, he's a really good father at first, a father figure to Fitz himself, and then you'll see what else happens with him. Second, I'm going to go with Dalinar Colin. I think Dalinar is a great father. And number one father for me. Okay. It's tough because there's some fathers who are really good characters, and there's other fathers who are really good fathers. So along the lines of really good characters, I'm going with Andros Guile from Lightbringer.
He's a terrible father.
But he's a really good character.
He's like the worst father in the world.
But he's a really good character, Josh.
We're not doing great characters that happen to be fathers. We're doing best fathers.
But a big part of his character is the fact that he's a father.
I pity your kids, man.
I'm sticking with it. Okay, should I? Okay, I have an alternate. I had an alternate in the
Bring in the alternate, man. Bring in the alternate.
All right, okay. Maybe Andros goes to worst father. Great character though.
The alternate Quoth's dad, is that going to be the alternate?
No, he's an honorable mention. He's an honorable mention for me. He's just not in the books enough to really make an impact. He is a good father though. I'm going with Tamis from the Powder Mage books.
Okay.
Great character.
That is a good
great character and good father.
Good choice.
Okay.
Much better.
Much better. Okay. Phew. Okay, I almost blew it there. Josh, ready for yours now.
Okay. I'm going with Roland from Dark Tower, and mostly because of his character arc. So, and I'm counting this as kind of like a found family. He's kind of the leader of his quartet and acts in a father figure in a lot of ways to Jake. And he grows so much from the first book to the last book in that role. So I think he's also just a great character and great father figure role. Second, and I'm kind of surprised neither of you said this, but Tam Al Thor.
He was definitely a thought.
He will probably be on the winning entry. Twitter time will probably choose him.
I'm sure. But I figure he deserves to be in one of our top 3 on this show too. And I don't want to do too many spoilers for the series, but I was very satisfied with his like arc and what happened in the books. I don't want to,
Yeah.
And then my number one dad pick for just being the all-around best dad, just GOAT, is Arthur Weasley from Harry Potter.
I knew you guys were going to pick that.
Dude.
And judging how Molly Weasley won last time, I could see Molly Weasley as the best mom, but what does Arthur Weasley really do to make him a good father?
He's a good father to his kids. He takes them on a trip. He
provides for all those kids on a very limited income.
He also he also
get a better income.
He's also just brave. Oh, Jake, okay. Here's kind of a theory about Arthur though. It's like his income probably isn't that bad. He's just my guess would be he's just really bad with money. He's just like always throwing it into like Muggle stuff that probably sells for premium in the Wizarding world. Like, because he's pretty high up in the government. I mean,
is he? Like not really.
Yeah,
he's like, head of a department.
Yeah, he's head of.
Yeah, no one cares about that department though.
I know, but even I know, but like if you're drawing parallels to like our government, if you're the head of like even if it's a bad department, if you're the head of it, you're making like easily 6 figures.
So like head of UFO relations would be the comp.
No,
that's like what head of naval intelligence. Yeah, they probably make a bunch of money.
Yeah,
dude, UFOs are UFOs classified as part of the Navy? The Navy cares about UFOs?
Man, have you been paying attention to the news the past 2 years?
No, I haven't. I really haven't.
Navy's released like 5 different UFO videos.
There's a grant of tens of millions of dollars that went to studying UFOs and like.
Don't we have a Space Force now? Shouldn't Space Force be handling UFOs?
They're not the ones finding them.
Yeah, man. If Space Force goes and finds UFOs in space, then do it. But the Navy is the one that's having unidentified objects over their carrier ships like every single day.
Really questioning Space Force's role here. They should be finding the UFOs.
Speaking of, there's a season 2 coming out for that. I never finished season 1.
I thought season 1 was pretty funny.
It was all right. I laughed a few times.
All right. So we did our top 3. You picked Arthur Weasley. He's going to go pretty far.
I could see Arthur Weasley and Tam Al Thor being 2 of the top 3 entries.
Yeah. They're definitely going to be the winning entry.
I want someone to put,
and then some random one.
I want someone to put Tywin Lannister. Although he does a lot to protect his family, but he is just a terrible father. At least Cersei was decently nice to her kids. Actually, they're kind of similar. They're kind of similar.
So let's try and put a worst fathers list together.
Yeah. So we're choosing Andros Guile, my potential number 1.
Tywin Lannister.
How about Stannis Baratheon?
Stannis Baratheon, Darth Vader.
We can't say why exactly Stannis is a terrible father because spoilers, but if you have gone through all of Song of Ice and Fire, he's a way bad father.
Yes, he is.
Darth Vader.
Well, misguided, very misguided father.
Vader.
Yeah. Well, misguided. Yeah. Okay.
Misguided. Denethor. There we go. We got the top 3.
Yeah. How about Lord Asriel? Very bad father.
Yeah, very bad father. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
We could probably come with some more. Those. Yeah. That was my list of bad ones that I had for jokes.
I'd only thought of Denethor.
Okay. Do you get? Well, we probably can't get into spoilers, but I think Lyran is always an interesting father to discuss.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
You have to. Yeah. You have to be current through all 4 books to really.
He's a father, and I'll keep this. If you're like really sensitive to spoilers, maybe skip ahead a minute. But he's like a father where you think he's a fine father growing up, but then you like go to therapy and you realize that like he probably messed you up a lot more than you realized that he did. You know, that's kind of like the father that I think Lyran is.
And this is Kaladin's dad from Stormlight Archive.
Yeah.
So other honorable mentions. I just had a couple. Actually, did I? Oh, one more. Elrond. I thought Elrond could be a good father.
Yeah. He's pretty good. He doesn't really, he's
not very supportive.
Yeah.
He's supportive.
He wants to.
He's not supportive of her giving up her immortality to live with a human, but he's supportive
of her going with the love of her life and having to sacrifice.
He just wants to make sure she's actually thought out the decision.
Just saying.
I think he's a good father.
I mean, how old is she? She's like 1,000 years old. She can make her own decision. What's life worth?
He's like 3,000 years old though.
His life. Well, I mean, I think the wisdom required. I think the wisdom gained is kind of like a, diminishing returns for every year you've lived.
Once you get past 700, you're as
smart as you're gonna be. It's kind of like levels out.
Another honorable mention would be Tau's father from The Burning, Aron Solarin. He's a good father.
Kind of. He's just not. Yeah. I don't want to spoil it. Can't do spoilers.
It's just tough it's like mothers. It's tough with fathers in science fiction and fantasy because a lot of exciting stories happen when parents are not in the picture to scold you and set rules.
Ooh.
And so they're not in the books a whole lot. So you kind of have to reach for some of these. Yeah, Jake.
I got one. Okay. Speaking of Red Rising, what was the name of the Red Rising guy who was like a savage during the games?
The Jackal?
No, not the Jackal.
We had this conversation. Yeah,
Severo's dad. He's a good dad.
Yes, but that is a spoiler to get into his backstory.
I'm just saying his dad's a good dad.
All right.
Is that a spoiler?
No, it's not, but any more details would be. I was warning you off of it.
Okay. Well, I said
You were on the ledge, and I was just saying like, hey man, there's a ledge.
Step back.
Okay, so
Cool.
top 3 dads. If you want to be part of this, we will tweet out the opening to the competition. Just submit your top 3. Make sure it's 3. Sometimes people don't understand maybe they're not reading everything, but you do need to do 3. You can't just do 1. And then we'll start a Twitter competition. It'll be a series of polls. And then whoever gets the most percentage through the end will win fabulous prizes. There's Phantology swag that goes out to the winner. Okay, should we go on to general fantasy news to close?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, Ryan's not here, so we can start with TV news.
Yay.
Shadow and Bone. Who watched it?
Wait, that was last month, Jake.
Well, it came out last month, but we hadn't finished watching it, so we didn't have a full report.
Okay.
I think actually Josh is salty because he had finished watching it already.
I binged it the night before because I thought we would be talking about it in that fantasy news. So
Well,
yes,
I
I'm
didn't
salty.
watch any of it except for the first 15 minutes. So
Still,
I thought it was good.
it was good. Yeah. I mean, none of us have read the source materials, but in terms of just being a standalone show, I really enjoyed it. I mean, not like a 10 out of 10 show, but probably a 6 or 7 out of 10. Definitely.
Yeah, it was an interesting world. I thought that it was an interesting premise. There was a lot of unique things. I think I would like the books.
Yeah.
Criticisms, just like Netflix in general, you're going to have a lower budget. I thought some of the VFX were pretty bad, especially anytime they were around water. The VFX were really bad. I was not buying it at all. And then some of the dialogue was just a little wooden, but overall, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good synopsis.
Okay, another Netflix show that is fantasy adjacent, I guess, was the Jupiter Rising show based off a series of comic books. I don't think any of us have read, but did you guys watch this one?
I still have one episode left, or 2 episodes left. But yeah,
is it good? It looks pretty cheesy.
It's all right.
Okay, so you know how what's that Amazon, The Boys? How it seems cheesy, but then gets a lot grittier, and then the grittiness kind of outweighs the cheesiness. Do you know what I mean with that show?
I don't think I ever thought The Boys was cheesy.
Yeah, me neither.
Well,
it's a minute in, and you get
I know, but
really gritty scene.
That's what I mean. They lean into the cheesiness with how they act. When they'll go and act how people think that superheroes should be, they're acting cheesy. When they're
okay.
It's
when Homelander's up there,
doing
the hurrah
speech and doing a smile and putting on a show. It leans into the very cheesy aspect, but then far out. But then it gets super gritty. I feel this one is cheesy, but then it doesn't get gritty enough to. It's not as stark as The Boys.
Yeah, it never is.
But this one, it does get gritty. I mean, it gets gritty-ish. It's a PG-13 gritty.
Yeah. It's more the reason to watch this show is it's more of a mystery really, because it's told through 2 different timelines and you're always wondering what happened. How did all of this start? And you don't get that until the end. So that's what kept me watching. I wanted to know what happened. I wish there was more action though. And I had some issues around the central themes. The whole thing is themed around, this isn't spoilers, this is just really really for the show. The dad hero, who is Josh Duhamel, whatever his name, I can never say his last name. He is all about not killing anyone and upholding these values of being a superhero. The younger heroes are growing up in this world where it's more dangerous and some of the superheroes are dying. And so they're well, we've got to kill the bad guys sometimes. I just thought that was really lame. It's why they can't do self-defense at all?
It's pretty well. So having not finished the series yet, I keep thinking that there's going to be something pretty important that led him to developing that code, besides just himself wanting to have a code. But I don't know. That's kind of what I'm hoping. There's some payoff, so don't give me spoilers to that. But I'm hoping that there's some sort of prophecy, as long as you never use your powers to take life, then you'll be able to use them, or something like that. that keeps it like there's more of a reason why he's so adamant that they never kill anyone. Because to me, I mean, I don't want to get into like the subject of police brutality and stuff, but there are moments like where if you're trying to protect people, then that is going to involve like possibly taking someone's life. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And I think that a lot can be done in the policing system to like temper that, and of course, but like there's going to be instances where you need to do it, and that's just kind of the nature of the world that we live in.
Like villain, mass shooter is out there. You need to take him out, or he's going to kill people.
Yeah, you can't just like try and talk him down or like
yeah
punch him and knock him out. Yeah, exactly. Like, so you're right. It's not a very compelling thing unless there's something more to it that's like power specific to their or like something very specific to his origin story. Anyway,
so decent show. I mean, I'm kind of a sucker for superheroes, so I tend to tune into all of these types of things. It was all right.
We got a bunch. Go ahead.
Yeah, one more superhero show, Invincible. Jake, did you guys watch this one?
Yeah, I did. When did that finish though? I got to it late. I finished it a week or so ago.
It had come out. Amazon did the thing where they released the first 3 and then they released the rest weekly. I don't know when it actually finished. I also got to it late. I finished it probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. This is an animated show, again, based off of a comic book. And I thought this one was pretty good. This one was more on the darker, gritty side.
Yeah, and I think having not seen Jupiter's Legacy, I think it balanced the cheesy and gritty really well. Like parts of it felt like I was watching like Batman Beyond or Static Shock or something like that from when I was a kid.
Was the gold standard. That was gritty for a kid show, man. Batman Beyond.
Yeah, but I mean, it was still a kid show, you know. So part of me felt like I was watching that, or Static Shock, which was not really gritty. And then other parts were full on boys, but animated, so not as bad. It was really good. I loved the voice actors, and just the character development was really well done.
Yeah, they had what's his face, Spider-Man's newspaper nemesis,
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, what's that guy's name? He's the
Daily Bugle guy.
He also sells insurance.
J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
Does he sell insurance?
Yeah, he's the voice for farmers, right?
Oh, I have no idea.
I mean, he's in all the farmers commercials.
Real deep cut.
Well,
I don't know.
I've been watching a lot of NBA playoffs, so I end up watching commercials. You guys probably never watch commercials anymore.
He's Commissioner Gordon in the Dawn of Justice movie.
Yeah. Anyway, it was an all-star cast. There were a lot of voice actors. There was also
lots of Walking Dead and Community characters,
and the goofy guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. What's that dude's name?
Oh yeah, what is his name?
He's in other things too.
Andy Samberg?
No.
That does.
Sorry, the goofy guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Andy Samberg. He's the goofy guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
No, the guy who's like crazy.
One. The crazy guy who's
like crazy.
Oh, right. He's also in like The Good Place and in Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Like all Mike Short stuff. Yeah.
His character is just being completely insane.
Yeah.
And Mark Hamill's in it too. There's some big stars in that show.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, tune into that one. All right, are we through with TV?
Yeah, movies. There's a bunch of Marvel stuff that was announced, like with dates, and there's some Spider-Man stuff that was announced.
Oh, the Eternals trailer came out.
Yeah, Eternals trailer.
Speaking of movies, there's been a rumor, it could be a leak. It seems to be legit that certain people have seen test screenings of the Dune movie, and it's looking pretty good. From what they've said, it looks like it's going to end about the time where.
Spoilers, man.
Spoilers for Dune.
No, just don't say it.
Just don't say it. Okay. Have you not read Dune?
I have, but people are sensitive about spoilers.
Like how far in? Like halfway through?
Yeah, about halfway.
Kind of where the big thing happens, toward when everything changes, about halfway through.
Not quite that far.
All right.
Okay.
I don't know if this is a spoiler. We'll cut it out. But I heard that there is no writing of worms.
Okay.
In this movie.
They didn't have big enough budget for that?
No, they just didn't get that far. They tease it. There's like parts where they're teasing it, but they don't actually show it.
Fair enough.
We better see worms. I want to see a worm.
And that it ends pretty abruptly. Oh, you see the worms for sure. You don't see anyone riding them.
Okay.
But
all right. Any other TV movie things? I just saw Quiet Place 2, so I saw a preview for Black Widow. But I mean, that's been a thing forever. It is finally coming out next month.
Did you mention Wheel of Time?
Not yet.
Wrapped up.
Yeah, filming is wrapped, and they've started season 2.
Yeah. Have they started filming season 2 or just writing?
I'm not sure. They tweeted out an image of the first season script.
Yeah.
Or not first episode script.
Did we talk about how we saw a glimpse of a Trolloc? Did we talk about that last month?
No, but I don't even know if that's a story. Like, it was just a wider cut of Moraine, and it's like a super blurry thing.
It's not even that blurry.
I wasn't.
It's a good watch Unraveling the Patterns video of it.
Maybe I'm just like not into Wheel of Time that much, but I wasn't interested in the
first look at a Trolloc.
It's super grainy. I can wait for a real look at a Trolloc. I don't need to see a grainy look. All right, I guess I'm not a real Wheel of Time fan. I'm fine waiting a little bit to see the actual thing. I'm just saying
that's big news.
Jake's Stephen arguments are my favorite.
All right. Well, other big Wheel of Time news confirmed that Elaine won't be until season 2.
Yeah, they're casting her right now, right?
I don't know.
They're casting for a princess that will have a large recurring role in the show.
Oh, are they? I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I thought they had already cast her and just haven't announced it. But they did confirm that she won't be until season 2, which, I mean, there's been lots of speculation about what that really means when she's coming in. Some people think not until what would be the end of book 2. Other people think beginning of book 2.
Which is a clear signal, right, that they're going to be departing from the straight narrative from the books.
Yeah.
Because she's a character in book 1.
But her part in book 1, they could still do exactly all the important things that happen when she's in book 1 at another date, and it wouldn't really affect the story. So,
but it's just not going to be a verbatim retelling of the story.
Yeah,
exactly.
Which they've said. And I think they're doing a good job getting out ahead of it and telling mega fans, don't expect it verbatim. It's not going to be that. Rafe has always said that. And
I mean,
I'm so
Lord of the Rings did it. Game of Thrones did the same thing. Even the best seasons of Game of Thrones did the same thing.
So. Yeah, season 8.
Yeah,
especially did it.
The best seasons. Okay. Yeah. Speaking of Game of Thrones, we got photos from the House of the Dragon, which is apparently like for sure happening. It sounds like they announced all of these prequel spinoffs. Most of them didn't happen. I was always a little hesitant to get excited about any of them because I wasn't sure if they were ever happening. Seems like this one's for sure happening. It's the Targaryens hundreds of years before the events of the Song of Ice and Fire. And I have no idea what to expect.
You're going to expect them to use the same wig that they use.
Yeah, that's an internet joke. In the photos, it seems like all the Targaryens have the same exact, really beaten up white blonde wig on.
Yep.
Do you guys know if this is going to be starting with them conquering Westeros, or if it's going to be from the Doom of Valyria?
My impression was that it was going to be the Doom of Valyria.
That would be awesome if we got some more.
Cool. I'm sure there's an answer out there, and I don't want to say because off the top of my head, I'm not sure, and we'll probably get it wrong. But my main takeaway is like, this is such a no-win situation to be a part of this project because
really? I mean, I think it's a very big.
No, I think it's a no-win because there's no way it's going to be as good as Game of Thrones. Like, no way possible. I don't see any way where it says.
I don't see why not.
It's going to be directly compared to the greatest fantasy show of all time. And I know you can say, well, Steven, all of the new fantasy shows are being compared to Game of Thrones. To some extent, yeah. But like this one is directly compared. It's the same exact property. I don't think it's going to be as good. And so I just don't see how it's a win.
Okay.
I think the cons of it are obviously George R.R. Martin has, I mean, I know he's writing for it, right? But or is that a different HBO series?
No, he's working. He's writing for it.
So I guess that's a pro. Actually, he's actually writing for it. So they're not going to be having to work off of their own stuff. And the fact that it could be a shorter story, it doesn't need to expand as much. So it could be different enough to where here is a 3 or 4 season long show that does a more compact story arc that could be really good.
Okay. Breaking Bad is held up as one of the best shows of all time. I might not think it is, but a lot of people think it's one of the best shows of all time. Better Call Saul, in my opinion, is an even better show because it did enough differently, but it's still compared to it's still the same property. It still has some of the same characters. It still references the events in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, but those shows are not nearly. It's not nearly under the same microscope.
What do you mean?
Show's going to be under.
After season 8, people were like, "Oh, congratulations, Breaking Bad for being the best show of all time." It was already it was like posthumously being compared to Game of Thrones.
The difference there is Breaking Bad ended a lot more well received than Game of Thrones ended, and so having a spin-off show, people were wanting more. Whereas with Game of Thrones, it might be hard to get people excited to get it. I'm super excited for it.
Okay.
But I love the world.
The other thing, we're coming from mega fans' perspectives here. I mean, I know it might not seem like it, but all the people, the huge viewership that Game of Thrones brought in, that wasn't from everybody that was obsessed with the book. Honestly, I know I've made this point before. Most people I talked to at work that hadn't read the books thought season 8 was fine. They didn't love it, but they thought it was good. Both my coworkers that watch Game of Thrones that worked at my office liked season
8. Even mega fans like Nathan Towns, who's on our Discord. He liked season 8, and he's probably the biggest Game of Thrones fan I know.
But I know. So but that's what I mean is that not everybody they're not. There's a huge audience for this show that thought season 8 was fine, and that will come back and watch it. That aren't super into the books, that aren't online, seeing all the memes of how all the dragons died and the shots.
The general consensus for season 8 is that it was bad, though.
From online,
general consensus. No, from just the general populace who watched it.
Well, was it straight bad? It just wasn't as good as the rest of.
It was disappointing. It was disappointing. If you look at the reviews.
Yeah, but the reviews
IMDb
are mostly fine. But I don't know. I think I've hammered this point before.
I will say, so you brought up that George R. R. Martin is writing for it, and that reminded me that I think they're planning on doing some kind of expanded world of a bunch of shows from the world. So if they're doing shorter seasons, or if they're doing shorter series with fewer seasons, and it's a tighter narrative, and they can actually tell stories in ways that they want to all the way through, then that gives me more hope. And honestly, regardless, I'm going to watch.
Plus, okay, and let me make one more point. I'm
going to watch for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to watch for sure too. So now we know even mega fans are still going to watch the show. So from HBO's perspective, this is a win situation. Think about Star Wars. Most Star Wars fans don't like the new prequel or the new trilogy. How much money did that new trilogy make? Made billions of dollars. So let's not go around acting like it's a no-win situation when this is going to boost HBO's numbers, make a ton of cash, be a huge payout for the actors involved. This is a win-win-win situation. It might not be a win for mega fans, but it's going to be a win for a lot of other people.
That's interesting. I always assumed mega fans were happier with the end of Game of Thrones than the average viewer. But I could be wrong. The last 3 episodes,
average viewer doesn't care about how long it takes to travel from Winterfell down to the.
That wasn't the main issue people had with it.
It doesn't take very long.
Anyway, what's the average? What are those?
The average view of the last rating of the last 3 episodes is
7.3.
No, it's 5.4, 5.9, and 4.0. The last 3.
Dang, that's real bad.
And the first 3, 7.5, 7.8, 7.4, and then 5.4, 5.9. Well, no one remember. People liked the first few episodes. I was the only one saying I'm not really liking the season because things are just happening so fast and wrapping up, and everyone's like, no, they're gonna wrap it up good. And then the last half of the season, averaging 5.25.
Come on, man! 3 episodes out of a 70 episode show. No, but out of the whole for the whole show.
No, I know, but the fact that it's the end, it puts a bad taste in people's mouth.
Whatever. Okay.
All right, I guess no one's situation was a bad take. Maybe I was thinking more in terms of like if you're directing the show, it's tough to live up to the hype of Game of Thrones. But yeah, I'm thinking like Dave and Dave, they rode off into the sunset into what, like an 8-figure deal with Netflix. So even then,
did you guys see that J.J. Abrams made a statement back to the Star Wars thing about how one thing he's learned from writing for so many properties is that he needs to have a plan moving forward for what happens.
That's the biggest blunder.
Really?
I do not understand.
Not only that, Alias. Like, I don't know if you guys watch Alias. I watched Alias as it was premiering. There's a huge mystery box in Alias, huge mystery box in Lost, huge mystery box in Star Wars. Star Trek, he hasn't done like the whole mystery box of like, oh, what's inside? He doesn't even know what's inside.
Those are more like one-offs, yeah.
But and then even what's that other one that you really like? Fringe.
Fringe did a little better, but it still wasn't super coherent.
Anyway, it's just really funny that like it's taken him how long to realize that he needs to know what's in the mystery box before he starts writing the mystery box.
What's the mystery box in Star Wars?
Like Rey's family and just kind of
okay.
Sure. Who is she? What is the point of her?
Yeah. And like literally what's that character's name in the first movie? Yeah, and Snoke.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. I thought we were talking literal boxes.
No, it's just like the concept of like, here's the really important thing to the narrative of the story, and you're expecting it to be very satisfying, and then it's not. Yeah.
Okay, a couple other things to mention. There's a Wool TV show. That's a series by Hugh Howey, I think is his name. He did all these self-published. None of us read these. I think Ryan read the first book, but I think it's worth mentioning because it's a pretty popular property and it's getting an adaptation. R.F. Kuang announced her new book called Babel, and that is more of like I think it's like a time piece, like Victorian type thing. And I think there's like a limited fantasy element to it, but I loved her Poppy War trilogy, so I'll definitely be reading that when it comes out. And then there's a few more Sanderson bits of news. Anything else before we end with the Sanderson stuff?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, so Sanderson, we already talked about the Mistborn Fortnite thing. This guy just like keeps on pumping out news. So he announced Cytonic, the third book in the Skyward series, is coming out on November 25th. Yeah, 25th. And there is a book. There's a book cover for it. I've read the first two. Ben, has Josh? Did you?
Yeah. Interesting. His BookTube video today, sorry to jump in here, but it was because it used to be titled Nowhere. And then I think he really liked the title, but he was like, I trust my publisher enough, especially with YA, that like their opinion is going to, I'm going to follow their opinion more than mine.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's just kind of cool. Like I could see if I was suddenly like the number one best-selling fantasy author or one of them in the whole world, I'd be like, I'm going to pick the titles for my own books. But the fact that he was like, I'll default to somebody that knows the industry a little bit better. I think that was cool. See a little bit peek behind the scenes.
Yeah, he's now doing weekly YouTube updates. So if he couldn't provide enough, if the curtain was not pulled back enough on this Wizard of Oz, now he does weekly YouTube updates. Which is a great move because he has over like 200K subs to his YouTube channel, and I'm sure he pulls in a nice additional income that keeps Dragonstone Entertainment going.
Yeah.
No, it's such a smart move. You already have the following, just apply it to a new medium.
But
yeah, it's not like a money grab or anything. Like he's putting out good content for his fans.
I don't think he makes that much money though, just from AdSense. He probably only makes like maybe a couple $100 a video, if that.
I mean, it's a little bit though, and he employs a bunch of people. We went to the Dragonstone Entertainment warehouse, and he's got like at least 15 to 20 employees. I'm probably going to get that wrong, so apologies if anyone's watching. But so he provides a living for a good amount of people, and he's got his own small media empire, and this is just another drop in the bucket for it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a good call, but yeah.
He's also doing a lot of additional little things. So there's going to be another Stormlight game. He sent out a survey for what type of game people wanted. I selected the one that was like more of an in-depth strategy game, but not super in-depth. And him and Isaac Stewart have been talking about doing another Cosmere, not another Cosmere art book, a Cosmere art book. I'm envisioning kind of like a tabletop.
Like the Wheel of Time Compendium, because he mentioned that it might be like an encyclopedia as well, right?
Yeah, kind of like a combo between the two.
Yeah.
But the Wheel of Time Compendium, I don't know if there is a hardcover version. I have the softcover version. And I mean, it's nicely put together, but I'm imagining this is going to be like pretty premium.
Yeah, that was more an encyclopedia than an art book. And this is probably going to be more 50-50, if not leaning towards art. There's a ton of good Stormlight art out there and Cosmere art.
Yes, there is. With the rise of fan art, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's a wrap for news. I think we are done with May.
Nice. Made it through.
Okay. If you like Phantology, if you want to see more, you can always sub to our YouTube channel. We don't have as many subs as Brandon Sanderson, but feel free to support us in that way. Really just watching and listening is enough. And if you want to talk to us more, if you want to join our book club or talk with us on Discord, you can do that. The Discord invites are in the episode description, and I believe they will be on the backdrop of this video if you're watching on YouTube. So go ahead and punch that in. So I guess Ben and Ryan have nothing to say, but Jake and Josh, you want to sign us off?
Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of our community. Every month that goes by, I'm grateful that I have people to nerd out with. So
yeah, it's so fun. Join our Discord. It's such a fun part of our day to just get on there and talk to people about fantasy books.
Yep.
Okay. Looking forward to our next bad review. Let us have it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Phantology. If you'd like to let us know your opinions on all things sci-fi and fantasy, join our Discord. Invites are in the episode descriptions below. If you'd like to support the show, like these fine folks here, you can do that at patreon.com/phantology_books. Patrons get early access to new episodes, exclusive postings, and exclusive Discord benefits. But of course, just listening and watching and sharing with your friends and family is support enough. Journey before destination all.